Well, as promised, we are out here in the garden and we are getting the rest of the, ooh, it's buggy out here. We are getting the rest of the garden put in. Hopefully all of it will be done by the end of the evening, but we shall see. Now we're going to plant some carrots. I'm planting two different Scarlet Nante brands. One is Survival Garden Seeds, which I've told you about before. If you put in the code OurSufficientLife at survivalgardenseeds.com and you order one of the survival kits, you will get heirloom seeds at 90 cents a packet. You'll get 10% off those kits. So I'm trying a bunch of these compared to other ones this year just to see how the seeds compare. What I did notice in the package was, and this obviously isn't all seeds, but I have mixed this with sand because I don't want to waste seeds, and they're hard to see when you plant them. So I'm just going to, I just mixed some with sand at the rate of, like if you had a quarter of a teaspoon of seeds, you would use a quarter of a cup of sand. So basically 1 teaspoon of seeds per 1 cup of sand. But what I noticed was right off the bat, when I took a look at the back to roots that you can just like buy at Walmart, the same Scarlet Nantes, in the package, there was only a quarter of a teaspoon of seeds. So I could only use a quarter of a cup of sand. And in the Survival Garden Seeds ones, there was half a teaspoon. So you get like double the amount in that package as well. I've had trouble getting carrot seeds to germinate in the past, but I didn't know the trick of covering them. Some people water the seeds in and then cover it with a board until they germinate. And once they germinate, the board comes off. That keeps the moisture in. I'm going to do the same thing with hay, and we're going to see if it germinates. It's working so far for my beets, which I'll show you during that garden tour that I promised coming up this weekend. So you can see here, all I've really done is just kind of pushed the hay away, and I just made a finger row along here to plant the seeds in. And I'm going to do 3 rows. And then after a few more weeks, I'll do another 3 rows so that we can have like an extended harvest. First, the back to roots. And I am just going to stir it up with this little tablespoon measure I've brought with me, just to kind of distribute it evenly. And then I'm just going to sprinkle it. And hopefully I won't waste a ton of seeds. So you can see my row of sand there, and all I'm going to do is go ahead and water this in, cover it with just a little bit of dirt, and then throw the hay back over it to keep it wet so that hopefully they germinate this year. We'll see. Check out my winter sown cucumbers. We are putting in 2 or 3 different kinds of cucumbers today, and I hope that you can see the beautiful trellises that Dan put in, or helped put in for me. These are going to be arches that will have the cucumbers trellising on them, and also another one that's going to have the pole beans trellising on it. And so we're trying that this year to see how that works. Hopefully I can get them trained to go on the trellis. We're going to go ahead and plant the cucumbers. We're going to space them about, maybe like a foot apart. I know that in square foot gardening, you can plant 2 cucumbers per square foot. So I think if I'm planting them along a trellis, if I space them 1 every foot or so, it should be good. So I'm planting Marketmore cucumbers. I'm planting some of the Survival Garden Seed cucumbers also. One is called, I think, Biet Alpha. Never tried that one before. We're planting some roots, back to roots, I think it's called. And we're just going to compare them, and I'm going to put the SGS in a particular spot so that I can compare those to just the normal seed you would go and buy in like Walmart, which would be the back to roots type, and they're called straight 8, I think. Real quick, check out how great the onions are doing. I'll be doing another video on growing big onions, and we'll be coming out here and doing some things to these onions so that they hopefully have the best chance possible of growing big. One thing I do notice since putting this hay mulch on here is this ground is already moist, and I have not watered out here. So that is one great thing. The last thing we're going to plant today to finish this off is pole beans. We are going to plant the Survival Garden Scenes Kentucky Wonder, and we're also going to plant the regular old Livingston Blue Lake pole stringless beans. These also are stringless unless you let them grow too large, and then you're going to have a string. But we're just going to poke them down in the soil in between the hay, and we're going to poke them down in about 1 inch. We're going to space them about 3 to 4 inches apart and see what happens. Hopefully I can train those too. And last year I had what I think was deer come and nibble off my seedlings. And so before these get germinated, I'm going to come out here and put a little protection cage around them just in case. That's it for this time out here in my small raised bed garden. Thanks for being with us. If you are interested in how to do a small raised bed garden, please consider subscribing. And I will see you soon with a little garden tour, and we'll get at those onions at some point too. See you next time.